Two cousins taking different life paths discuss the highs and lows of being in your 30s, and nothing is off limits. This is Life in Your 30s. This is 30 Old, 30 Young.
Hello and welcome to another instalment of 30 Old, 30 Young.
Hi everyone, just to pre-warn, it's bonfire night and the pod dog is a bit growly and
She's having a bad time.
She is not loving it.
No.
So I'm hoping that she's going to be good, but if you do hear a bark in the background, just ignore her.
I'm going to do my absolute best to edit it all out, but some might sneak through.
Yeah.
So sorry about that ahead of time.
So how's your week been? How was your time away? How did it go?
Yeah, it was the first family of four holiday.
That's so
So we turned up to this apartment up north, up in Bridlington.
Up north.
And it was straight out of the 70s.
Oh.
It was like...
What do you mean? The area?
No, the area was kind of like a nicer Blackpool, I think, kind of vibe. Yeah, it was a seaside town. I think all seaside towns, for the most part, kind of have a similar vibe. Especially in the slight off-season.
I was going to say something then, but I thought maybe not.
What?
What is it? Because it's up north. The beaches up north are a bit...
To be honest, the beach was nice, and
was it?
As a callback to one of our previous episodes, my big problem with the beach up north was the fucking dogs.
What? Hey, what are you going to say?
Off-leash dogs, people had no control over them. One went for Britain.
No.
Yeah, fully
Serious?
ran at her, barking, leapt to her. Look, and I got in between the two of them.
No, but was the dog playing or?
No, barking, like properly going for her. Properly went for her. And then the owner like ran up and was like, "Oh, she doesn't bite." It's like, yes, I don't know you.
And it's all on and your daughter's going to be scared.
Absolutely. And let's face it, this dog was at Bryn's face height. So all it takes is a quick like moment of it being an animal to her face is gone.
How funny though, after we were just talking about
That's it. And it happened 3 times when we were on the beach. The dogs, and obviously Bryn wants to have a little walkabout. So she's like exploring, picking up stones and everything like that. And I've got I'm about 10 meters away from her. But a dog's going to cover a distance a lot quicker than I'm going to. And there's one fully was galloping towards her, and I ran to her as well. And that was the second time it happened. Then the third time, this other one went for a remote control car that she had.
Not the remote control car.
Yeah, but come on, sort your dogs out.
That's mad, isn't it?
They do massive leashes. Put them on a massive leash. Put them on a big 50-meter one. Then they can have their little runabout. And if they are being a bit of you wind that leash in and they can't do anything about it.
I mean, I've never been on a walk with kids before where it's happened. It's dead weird because it always seems to happen to you.
Yeah, well, because it's an animal at the end of the day.
You walk her more though. Obviously, you live with her, don't you? So when I'm with kids, it's every now and then.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah. So I'm always at.
Going to be a bit different.
And the people that were walking their dogs on the beach on the leash were absolutely fine. Dogs were having a great time. They were still going in the water and coming out, but then they weren't getting in my daughter's face.
Bloody hell.
Because it would have been bad, but I would have yeeted that dog across the beach. If it went for her.
To be fair, if it was they went for her for sure.
Oh, God, yeah. And there's no, you don't... The thing is, the dog owners kind of want you to, just trust me. Just trust me, I know my dog. It's like...
Yeah.
It only takes one time.
Well, I heard of a woman at my friend's school who got mauled by her dogs.
That's it.
But then I'm like, well, how are you raising them? Because apparently she was doing something, slipped over, and then she did something, slipped over, and then it went for her. They've been put down now.
Well, that's it.
She said the kids. It was the kids that went for her.
My friend was telling me about his niece. She was playing with the dog that they'd had for 12 years in the corner, just playing with her, and just went for her face. They'd had the dog for 12 years.
What dog was it?
I don't know.
Not that it makes any difference, but I'm just wondering.
It was only a little one, a little yappy one, but they're often the little scrappies, aren't they?
It's amazing. I know, being one of them dog owners where I'm like, oh, my dog's perfect. But generally she is quite good. If kids piss her off, she'll try and get away from them, or she'll come to me and try and jump on me and say, "Get me the fuck away from these kids."
Well, there is a balance of fuck around and find out. If you go up to a dog and you just start slapping it around the face and it bites your hand, you've earned that, mate. That's you fucked around and you found out.
Yeah.
But if you're just walking along a beach and a dog just comes at you, then that dog needs to be just into the sea.
Oh,
you
so
know?
how was your rock thing? Your rock sanctuary, was it great?
Yeah.
fun?
Once we got over the PTSD of the dog, yeah, no, it was good. We did it was like a proper. It was basically like a mini Cadbury World, really.
Oh, cute.
And they couldn't help but they were giving stuff away. Like every single station, they were like, "Do you want some boiled sweets? Do you want this? Do you want that?" And lobbing stuff. And then Bryn got to some like pumpkin decorating with like a chocolate pumpkin, putting some smarties on it and stuff like that. And the rock rolling was huge bit of rock though, massive. I thought it was going to be like some little small bit. You do a little roll out. Oh, that's great, and then you throw it away.
How much you pay for it?
It was like, for all of us to go, it was like 12 quid.
Is that it?
That's it. It was so cheap. This is a gift shop on the way out that got us. Oof. Yeah, that peanut brittle, and Brie wanted like a 3 foot tall chocolate Santa. Luckily, they didn't have it in stock, 'cause I think it was about 50 quid.
She makes me laugh, honestly. She's the luckiest girl, though, because whenever she goes out with your parents or with you guys,
no,
she gets it.
Brie, not Bryn.
Oh, wait, what?
Brie.
Brie wanted it.
Oh yeah, my grown wife wanted a 3 foot Santa to take home and eat.
Oh, how funny!
And she would have had it if they had it in stock, but thank God they didn't.
That's so funny.
Because I was like, what
about Bryn?
It's weird because in a million years I wouldn't think she'd want a not life-size Santa. Well, I don't know how tall it is.
How big is it? What, 3 foot?
About 3 foot. Yeah, it was
about
that big. Yeah, 3 feet. So like half, because I'm obviously 6 foot, half the height of me. I'm not 6 foot, so just a bit over half the height of me. So yeah, so we nearly came home with one of them, and I don't even know how we would have got in the car. Did you see the picture of the car?
Yeah, it was rammed. Did you have to? How long did it take to pack?
Ages. It took so long.
Did you take too much though, or not?
No, because it was like because we still end up. I still end up going to Tesco about 5 times for stuff that we'd forgotten. Because the snacks. I mean, these kids eat. I think we went through like 20, 30 pints of milk while we were there. These kids are just boshing it. But how's your week anyway?
Yeah, good, obviously. As you know.
Busy?
I've applied for citizenship in the States.
Oh, of course, that was this week, wasn't it? Jesus.
Yeah, so I've done that. So every year they do like lottery tickets for visas. So it's 55,000 that are allowed to get into basically applying for the green card, because to get into the USA is so freaking hard. So yeah, so I've applied for that, and I went to Asda and showed the amount of people that have been applying for this lottery visa, and that's just in one area of Derby.
Big old USA contingent in Spondon.
That's mad though, isn't it?
Yeah, people have really... It's mad because you've got the election about to happen.
I know, everything could change.
Yeah, they could rip up your lottery ticket in front of you.
When are we going to find out about the elections? I'm like
Thursday. It all depends on state for state, because some states are hand counting them, some states are using the computers.
Yeah, but how do we know they're not going to forge them or do something?
Oh, don't you bloody stars. You sound like Donald Trump.
Oh, is that what he's saying?
Yeah, when he lost it, oh God. When he lost it, he was like, no, it needs a recount, no, blah, 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 it didn't happen, we got it stolen, China got involved, China.
So see that I'm like buzzing. I'm literally thinking who, because it's so fine, isn't it? So that we'll see what happens. So yeah, I applied for that because, as you know, over the next 2 years I don't want to be in Derby. I'm ready to move on.
It's 2 years, is that the time frame?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So but the only thing is I find so frustrating is now everything's on hold because I'm going to wait to see if I get this this lottery ticket. Yeah,
but they can't. It's not. Is it? How slow is it? The process.
It's slow. It's like,
it's a lottery. Surely they just go, you've got one.
Absolutely not. It's between like May and September next year. So I feel like everything is on hold, which is so annoying.
Yeah,
but the thing is, I might not even get it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the time will pass anyway. So you've done it now.
I'm like, I hate waiting. I'm so impatient.
Such a millennial, aren't you?
So yeah, I know, but I feel like I've been waiting for something to happen for about bloody 7 years now.
You can't wait. You got to make those things happen, which you've done because you've applied for it.
Exactly.
So it just so happened, because then you probably could have wished that you'd applied last year for it.
Well, I didn't even know about it, and I didn't even know.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Even on the cards, to be honest. I just, when I went away to Italy, I thought to myself, like, what do I want from life? And I've never felt like I wanted to settle in Derby, because it's just never felt like home here. I've always, felt like this isn't where I'm going to be. And then obviously when I went to Italy, I was like, well, where do I want to go? And I feel like at the minute life is at a standstill. So I just thought, oh my God, America would be incredible. Like, it's a massive country, it's got everything within it.
Mm-hmm.
it's English speaking.
Easy transition for the most part.
And then, you know, with the job I do in sales, I could be travelling all across America. And the most important thing for me is to, like, I just want to get excited about life and just, you know, have those, like, wow moments. I get those wow moments by seeing places. And that is the one thing I love in life, is just seeing new things and getting that feel.
Do you ever get bored in places?
Derby.
No, I mean, like, you know, like...
Sorry, I had to.
It's mad how you can get so excited for a trip to somewhere. Then when you get there, it's like, at first, you're like, oh, wow. And then you kind of go, it's all right, isn't it? You kind of just get... the novelty wears off, and you're just kind of like, yeah.
Because when I used to do the Southwest, at first, I thought it was incredible. But then slowly you do get used to it. And it's like, oh, well, I've seen everything now.
Well, it's familiarity breeds contempt, right?
Yeah. And it's
so you kind of get... Well, because I said that when, you know, if ever we go somewhere, I'm like, oh, we could move here. It's like... And Brie goes, you still would end up not liking certain aspects of this, like, paradise that you're in. Because, like, that amazing, like... There's a bridge in Florida, right? It's a 7-mile bridge. From Marathon to the Keys. And it is just that. It is 7 miles of bridge over the ocean.
Yeah.
Nothing below, well, obviously the bridge. But, like, it's just water either side of you. And it's incredible.
God.
And I'm like, I love that. I could drive that every day. And Brie was like, you would get bored. You would get bored of it. If that was your commute, and you're like, fucking got 7 miles on this fucking bridge. There's traffic on this bridge. Can't do anything about it because there's water either side. You would learn to dislike it. However, when we were in Paris... I was on a college trip in Paris. Me and two of my friends were talking about, like, we were taking the Charles de Gaulle line, which goes wrapped around, and there's a really good moment where through the buildings you keep seeing, like, glimpses of the Eiffel Tower, like, as the buildings move out of the way. So Eiffel Tower, and it looks great, and it's a really cool video. And I went, yeah, but when you get bored of that being your, like... Would you not get bored of it? Because, you know, if you got to walk past the Eiffel Tower, you're probably going to get stuck in with a load of tourists. You'd probably learn to hate the Eiffel Tower. And this ethereal French woman came out of nowhere, and she was like, absolutely not. You're wrong to think this. And we were like, oh,
yeah,
shit.
But that's it, though. It's like, on the back of where I live, there's, like, they get the most beautiful sunset. Every time I see it, I can drive home sometimes and I see it's good sunset, and I literally run in, get the dog, and go onto the back. And every time
you love
I
a
see
sunset, don't you? A little pink sky.
Oh, honestly, I love it, yeah. And every time I see it, I get that same, like, oh my God, wow. But I just think, have you ever heard that saying that, like, your future self is somewhere and that's why you want something so bad? And I feel that, like, yeah, it's like a quote. And it's like, I feel that in Derby, like, I don't feel this is home because I know one day this isn't going to be home. I feel like there's other places. And to never, like, I was speaking to one of my great aunts, like, oh yeah, we wanted to move to Portugal. And they are always on about moving places, like, always on about it. But they never did. They've always stayed in Gloucestershire. Don't get me wrong, it's the most beautiful place in the UK to me. But, I don't know, like, I feel like you've got to take these chances, because for me, it's just something that I desire. Like, for some people, it's not. Like, some people are quite happy, you know, they've got their, like, home, they feel it's home.
Well, yeah,
for me, it's not.
You can do one of two things. You can be shaped by countries that you get to go to, or you can shape the one you're in, right? Yeah. So you can make the impact in the space you're in. And people, you know, thrive in a local setting and, like, love that smaller scale stuff. Because, like, let's face it, if you go and travel the world and you go to every single country, you will have been to all those countries. They would have had an impact on you, but you wouldn't have necessarily had an impact on them.
Well, you never know, you touch your lives on.
No, yeah, you'll meet people and they'll remember you, but, like, the nature you will just be passing through, right? You won't put down roots, you won't, until you really stop somewhere. Yeah. And then you'll start to make an impact, and that will become your local impact. Then there'll be people where you stop that can't wait to get out of that place.
Of course.
And then that's the same thing. So it's the grass is kind of greener situation, isn't it?
Yeah, but then I look at Alice, and obviously she was like, I want to get out to Derby. And she's in Italy, and honestly, she is so happy. She is just meant to be there. And it's like, you know, I was talking to my friend Emma the other day, and I was like, sometimes it can be like not a curse, but you know, when you see there is so much more to life than just this little place where you live in, where you live constantly. Then she was like, oh, I don't get it. Then she went away to somewhere near Cornwall in Plymouth, and she was like, Charlotte, there was so much to do. It was so much more vibrant. People were out doing things. And I said to Kyle, I want to move here. And I'm like, there you go, Ems. That's how I feel. Like, I've seen there's so much more out there. And it's like, for me, it's just the weather. Like, it depresses me. Like, it's continuously grey. People here, it's very like, I don't know, because everyone's very like in their
Are you not thinking there's like a
houses.
culture here?
No, of course there is. There's a culture everywhere, isn't there? But I just feel like I want to be a bit more outdoorsy, just many more things to do. I want to be by the ocean. And I want to experience around people who are not like me, who are different. That's going to, make me see a different way of life. When I walk, there's a different sort of accent. Like, for me, that would fulfill me because I'm like, I've done more with my life. But that's just how I look at it. And I know it's all different. And there's nothing wrong, if you were brought up in Derby and you're happy here and you love it, well, that's good. But we're not all the same, we're all different, aren't we?
Plus, the good thing as well with travel being an ambition is, for the most part, obviously money pending, it's quite easy. It is quite achievable. If you want to go and travel, you can just go and travel. Especially in your situation, you can just kind of go and travel. It's not like you have your dream is to, I don't know, go to the moon. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. You've got to really, you've got loads of different, or you want to be a pilot or something like that. Traveling, you can just go and then you've done it. You've done the traveling straight away. You've ticked it off, and it's like one of those really good instant gratification dream to have, because you just go, I want to go traveling. You book a flight, you fuck off, you're doing it. Happy days, you're on it. And then while you're doing it, you're doing it. It's not one of those things that when you get it, it's done. You get to carry on doing it.
The thing is, you never see anyone unhappy sat on a beach. Not really.
Well, it depends. It might be.
Yeah, but when you go travelling, and I've been travelling before, and you've got people, they all are so happy. I remember, where's I go?
But are they on holiday or are they working? Because the unhappy people on the beach are the people that are working.
Well, I don't know, because when I went to Sri Lanka, for instance, all the guys there, the surfers and stuff, obviously they live there.
Yeah.
And they absolutely love it. They're like, well, what can I not love? Every day I wake up to paradise, and I'm teaching people to surf and stuff. It's a great life.
That is, and then I would say shout out to a guy called Jack Fleetwood.
Hey, Jack.
I follow him on Instagram. He's a beautiful Irish man, and he boggles my mind about his timeline of how he does stuff. But he is just all over the place all the time, and like he'll be like, "Oh, I've just woken up in the back of my Jeep in Botswana or something like that," and then
what does he do for a job?
He runs surf camps, so he'll run the surf camps for like a season, and then piss off and go explore all the countries around it. Then he'll start up a surf camp somewhere else, run a surf camp, and then piss off and explore all the places around it. And because of his huge Instagram following, he's making some good spondoolies. So he's doing fine just to explore. But he's doing it where he is, I think I don't know if it's all men or all men and women really, is at one point in your life you do go, oh, I could just run a bar on the beach. A little simple bar on the beach. That sounds lovely.
Really good.
Yeah, and you kind of go, but then you have to, in that way of being like, I could just run a bar on a beach, I could just run a bakery in an Italian city, I could just run, you are kind of doing, although your setting's different, you kind of are doing a small town life, it's just not in the town you're from.
Yeah,
it's kind of that
but then you've got gorgeous weather. I think the weather impacts so much, and that's
you
what
can
I
do so much more
don't
outside
mind.
of it. Work and that side of it isn't really part of it, it's what you can do outside of work. And if work suddenly becomes a thing that you only do to kind of like cover some of the bills that you've got because life's a lot cheaper to live, and so you're not working as long and you've got a lot more time to do stuff, then you fucking quid's in, aren't you?
Because do you know what, right? When I go horse riding, not that I'd go very often, I probably...
It's a fucking curveball, what?
But no, like when you go horse riding, right?
Where the fuck do you go horse riding?
Well, I've probably not been for 2 years, but whenever I do, right, you go on these horses and they all do the same trail. And do you know what? Half the horses are asleep. They're so fucking bored of the same old trail.
It's a rat race, isn't it? But
you put them into a brand new field and they're fucking knackered crazy. Or you go into a different thing and they're like, whoa, and then suddenly they're alive. That is me. This is how I feel. I just feel like I'm just like, I just love that feeling when you see something and just inside just filled with so much happiness because you just... And it's not so much like just seeing some beautiful things. I love that.
It's the problem is with it is you will always, and I'm talking probably for myself here more than anything, and from what I've heard from other people, is you will always put roadblocks in its way. Because
stop yourself from doing
Stop yourself from doing it. Because you will always look at, well, what we have here is this, this, and this, and we have this, and this, and this. And you look at all the kind of like comforts that the place that you are offers you, and all against all the unknowns that this other place has. And you kind of go, oh, let's wait until this point. Let's wait until this point. Let's wait. And you just keep waiting and keep waiting and keep waiting. Well, let's wait until the kids are 18 and then you can look at it.
Well, that's everything though, isn't it? It's like in life, it's the fear that holds you back.
Yeah.
But then when you do it, you realise how much happiness actually will come from it.
Absolutely. Because when I went to Hungary and I went to my granddad's hometown, I felt like a true link to it.
Did you?
I really felt like, hang about, like something's here.
Wow, that's amazing. That's how I feel in the Cotswolds.
Yeah, and it really and it doubled down in a place called Abiligeti, which I liked because it sounds Italian, but it's in the south of Hungary, and it was just perfect. It was like these pristine lakes, and it was all very, very quiet. Even though it was the tourist season, it was still very quiet. But like everyone was it just felt like you were stepping back into like the 60s or something. It was all very like wholesome.
What, so you found
it felt like we were on a film set.
Did it feel like home a little bit?
It felt like home, yeah. So much so that we went looking for real estate. We went like, Dad and I were like, right, how do we do this? How do we get across it? How do we get a holiday home?
See, this is what I mean. And maybe the reason I feel like how I do is because I wasn't born in Derby. I know
Could be that, yeah.
I know I've pretty much been brought up here, but as I said, I fit in so much more with the people down south. Like I do feel like I do fit in a bit more with them. But I don't know. And it's also like I just feel so claustrophobic. Like so much.
Well, it's the humdrum, isn't it? It's when you're doing the same thing every day over and over again.
I just think the UK is so small. Like I literally feel claustrophobic. Like I go in my back garden, and I've said this before, I'm like, is this it? I've paid so much fucking money for this house. Is this all I get? I can't swing a cat
and
in my back garden.
Still paying for it. That's the thing that gets you. Is it's not like you've paid out. That's still coming out of the account, isn't it?
Well, exactly. And then you've got, in these bigger countries that have more land, the space is so much more. Like my friend in Italy, I've said many times before, she's got so much more land. And if you go to America, I want to look out my window and just see like land and fields.
Yeah.
But have a boat, be near the water. Be around some American. I love that American accent. I know.
You do?
I do. And I've always dreamed of being with an American, actually.
Oh, well, that's the place to find one.
And you dreamt of like Pocahontas and got with Brie.
Pocahontas?
You just look a bit like Pocahontas. And you used to fancy it when you were younger. Can you not remember?
Check Brie's got some Native American in her. I don't think so.
Well, she looks like her. She's got the dark features. She does.
She does. She does have. It's her Italian heritage that gives her she's got very like dark.
Italian?
Yeah, Cynthia's side's Italian.
Oh my god!
So literally, Brie just has to see that it's sunny outside, and she tans like 3 shades.
So lovely.
I'm like, and I turn into like garlic mayonnaise. It's a joke. I'm absolute gammon.
But no, so yeah.
I get it. I do get it. But obviously, if you are fully on board with the moving away, like if I was to be like, I'm fully on board with moving away, but I've also got to realise that I just cannot.
I'm shitting it.
Oh, are you?
Oh my god, absolutely. I'm going to move somewhere.
Yeah, you're going to know
no anyone.
Yeah.
And I'm not near family. I'm going to be on my own.
Yeah.
But life has taught me loneliness, and I've learned to sit with it and be able to manage it. So it's given me all the life equipment. And obviously, we can still do this podcast because we can do it.
Of course, don't worry, everyone.
We're not.
Don't worry.
I'm just bringing more content to it.
Sure, yeah.
Seeing if it's like going to make it or not. But yeah, that's it. That's life.
To be fair, in like a tenuous link to what we're talking about, like the idea of, do you like making new friends and all of that? Obviously, like in your 30s now, do you think you will be able to will you like put yourself in like maybe a gym or something like that, or maybe a certain class, or like to kind of meet people, or are you just kind of go it alone and you kind of see people on the way? It's hard though to make friends.
Oh my god, of course it is. Like I think I'd join a gym, and the friends I've already got. Like look at Alice, she left the UK many years ago, and I'm still best friends with her to this day. Like she could have may as well have been living down the street. And, you know, you do hope to meet someone, you know, if I get into a relationship, I'd obviously meet, because right now I don't want to have a relationship in Derby. That's what's holding me back.
It's not Americans.
They're not American. They're not. It's not even so much American. I just don't want to settle here, and I just am not interested. So, you know, yeah, you just meet people, don't you? And I always feel like if you're brave enough to go after what you want, life will give you it. Will. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I know I've had it proven so many times that I've taken so many leaps of faith, not knowing where it's going to take me, and I've done it, and I've always had things happen that I'm like, wow.
Have they always been good though?
Yeah,
because sometimes a leap of faith, like
when I walked out of a relationship because I wasn't happy, and you know the Charlotte I am today, my God, she's like the woman I always aspired to be, or like wanted to, you know, when you're a kid. I am that person. It sounds very cringe, but you know, like the woman who you wanted to save you as a child, I have become that.
Well, that's good, yeah.
So, and that's obviously because I've taken that leap. And
have you always wanted like to get out, like a long time? Like...
Yeah, like, I was saying this to someone the other day, and it's just because when I was a kid, I always thought I was going to go back to Gloucestershire to be down south. But as I've got older, you know, it could potentially happen. I might not get this visa and I might move back down to Cotswolds. I have no idea what is going to happen, but I just know I'm giving myself 2 years and that is it, because I don't want to be here in 5 years when I'm turning 40. If I'm still here now, I'd be so disappointed in myself.
Yeah, if you get to 40 and you're still here, you're basically here till 80, aren't you?
Well, no, but I'm just like, You're
locked in. You're not actually allowed to leave. Once you've stayed here at 40, that's it.
Exactly. It gets a lot harder the older you get, I think.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
And who knows, you might have a kid by then.
Absolutely not. I'm locking myself away.
I don't know, you might pop over to America, meet an American, and bring them back.
Well, you don't know, but then at least I've tried. At least I've ticked off, and I might come back one day. You just don't know what happens. But I know right now I've just got to
You've got to go.
So that's it.
Because you've got to know.
Yeah.
That's your catchphrase. You got to go because you got to know. Oof. Look at that. Someone make that into a song. Your number one. No, I get it. And part of me sometimes just goes, oh, shall we just go sell up and buy a chalet in France and just lead a quiet little life with goats and grow our own stuff and live off the land? But then I don't know enough about any of it, so we'll probably poison the family.
The only thing is, it would be really nice to not have such a chaotic place. Like, it's very, in the UK, you are always very much on the grind. And you are.
Yeah, but would you not get bored though?
I don't know, like, look at the Italians. They just...
Yeah, you find comfort in your boredom a little bit, or you go be bored with people.
Yeah, but are they bored?
No, I'm saying, like, if you're downtime, like, you go do nothing with people. And I love doing that. Like, the last few times I've been going to the pub, we've kind of... It's not been an event. It's just kind of been... And this... I never thought I'd be that pub guy that just goes... well, I go to one pub, and that is it. But I never thought I'd be like... Because I've always wondered, like, what do they do in the pub? Like, when people would go, like, every day after work, or they just go and they just... What? They just talk and then have a few pints and then go home. Yeah, that could never be me. But now, having done it a few times, you know, you just talk. You do talk about nothing. Occasionally, you hit on some stuff, and then you play some darts, maybe some pool, and then you pop on home.
I mean,
it's nice.
Yeah, but it's whatever makes you happy.
Well, if you're comfortable, kind of doing nothing with people, they're good people to be around. Because and especially if they're also people that you can do stuff with. So you've got the best of both worlds with them. It doesn't always have to be a big event.
Do you know what I'd love to do? Like, be in a bar in America and be on my own and go, you know when you see the movies? At the bar and they order a drink. And that is on my bucket list.
You want to order a drink at a bar?
Not in New York, but like in America somewhere.
Do you remember, Love Actually? When Colin Frizzle goes across to America.
Oh, yes.
To meet... And he just goes, it's the British accent, you know, blah, blah, blah. And American women are so much more attractive than English women, all that lot. I was in a bar in Wisconsin, and it was the same situation. This is years ago. I wasn't actually allowed to be in the bar. I was just 18. But because my dad was there, he was allowed to vouch for me that I could be in the bar. And I was allowed to drink. It's some like Wisconsin law because they love a drink in Wisconsin. And there was 3 women at this place, a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead. Literally like the same situation. And my dad was like, you got to go over. You've got to do Yeah. And we sat talking, and it was the same thing. They were like, what do you call that? and I'd say it in my English accent, and they'd like laugh and be like, oh.
Do you reckon guys are the same? Do you think they love an English accent?
Guys will love any woman to come over and talk to them. So, yeah, men, doesn't matter what accent you've got, they will always be happy to have a woman present, for sure. You go to a little American bar, find some little dive bar. I would have suggested Rudy's in New York, but you're a vegetarian, so it wouldn't really resonate with you because when you order a beer, they give you a hot dog.
No, it doesn't resonate with me at all.
But that's cool.
Although I must admit, in New York, we did go into a bar, in a pub, and I did actually feel quite scared.
Well, you will do. Because there's dive bars where some bars in America, like, they're not even really known for selling the alcohol. They're selling other stuff that you're after.
It was scary. It's in the nicer place. Is it Greenwich?
Greenwich Village.
Greenwich Village. And I needed a wee, and I went to this bar. It was very dark, and I just felt so uneasy in this bar. Like, really
sometimes the vibes are off, and you just go, this seems like... And especially when you go... It's like when you go into a pub in, like, some little town in England, and when you walk in, everyone... Have you not? Where everyone just kind of looks at you.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I've had that. But then
you're not from round these parts.
Yeah, I've had that
hot
before,
fuzz
but
vibe.
then you just kind of settle in, don't you? But I've never felt uneasy in the bar or pub in Derby or in England.
Really?
Yeah, I've always felt fine.
That's mad. So you obviously have you been in any sleazy bars in England? Any like crazy Derby fan bars on a game day?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
They're ones where I've
never felt like I did that day in New York.
The worst experience I had was in Portugal, and it was kind of it. So what was happening? It was that Nottingham Forest were doing their like international tour, and they were playing a game in Portugal against, I don't know, probably Porto, maybe, but they were playing in Albufeira where we were, and all the Forest like massive or whatever they're called, the hooligans, were in this one bar. They had their bar, and then the Portuguese had this other bar. And we were in the Forest bar, and I don't know football really, and I don't know any Forest songs. But all they were doing was singing these Forest songs, and the chanting and all that lot, and they were sitting and then blah blah blah. So I had to like pretend to fit in, and so I was just going as they were singing it. I was going like because I was a bit drunk anyway, and this guy grabbed me by the throat, this Forest unit, and just went, "You fuck off," and I was like, all right, yeah, see you in a bit. Okay, that's probably the most uneasy I felt. Oh, actually, there was another time. People keep strangling me in bars. There was another time that I was in Greece, and Jack and I, my friend who I was with, we were like 16 in a nightclub that we shouldn't have been in. And we were dancing with these two ladies that we didn't realise were of the night.
Oh, God.
And so, you know, they were kind of like entertaining it or whatever, and kind of probably they had like a long game. Like, if I leave these guys on enough, I can probably get a bit of money out of them. And you know, game respects game and all that. So, but I guess the pimp wasn't too happy about it because we were dancing, and suddenly out of nowhere, I went from being right behind her to up against the wall, and the guy was just had his hands on my throat. I was like, all right, guess that's home time. See you later.
Shit, that's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
But did you know they were prostitutes?
No. They seemed very approachable. No, they seemed like lovely ladies.
Why did they do
Yeah, no, I was a
that?
potential customer.
Why would you have?
Nah, you don't pay for it, do you?
Ew, gross. No.
I have nothing wrong with it. It's the world's oldest profession.
Wow, I love. Yeah, so that's where.
I love what? You're like,
No,
prostitution. I
no.
love it. Woo.
But anything else on where to live in your 30s?
Where to live in your 30s? Wherever's home, I guess. That's where I live.
100%. That's it for tonight.
Yeah, that's it for tonight. The fireworks haven't been too bad. Maisie's been great.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll edit out any barks that have
Yeah.
snuck in, but I think she's been all right.
Yeah,
she maybe licked herself a bit loudly on the chair a while ago, so I'll edit that
sorry
out.
for the sound effects.
Yeah,
if
it was. I reckon it will. She was properly cleaning. So yeah, we will see you next week. We have a man, a myth, a legend. I'm saying that because I don't actually know who he is, but we'll talk to him.
We've got our first guest.
We've got our first
I'm so
guest.
excited.
Yes.
Can't wait to speak to him. He's going to be a good one.
And he's going to cover all manner of topics, and you'll be hearing from him pretty soon. So see you next week.
See you next week. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Thanks for listening. We know time is precious, and we thank you for yours. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.